Does Bitcoin prolong the life of the dollar or does it kill it? I think it can prolong the life of the dollar a little bit, but ultimately all fiat currencies will fail. And this is just because we will gravitate as a civilization to the hardest form of money and the best form of money. So, yes, adoption of Bitcoin and building a strategic Bitcoin reserve does strengthen the position short term of the US and by extension the US dollar.
There's not enough Bitcoin out there to satisfy demand right now. You're having people move into the market as soon as trades show up. They're getting taken, and then the floor that that Bitcoin can drop to. Normally, the downside of trades look really steep, but you have these people with an appetite that will come into the market, and you're seeing funds snap up, discounts because they know that the asset's eventually going to rebound and push higher.
So we certainly think, some of those additional funds will be helpful for the business. But one thing we've learned long term is if we focus on building long term value, our business is pretty sustainable regardless of what's happening politically. And as you know, we've grown from the company that just made tasers to now the world leader in body cameras, in-car cameras, extensive use of drones and counter drone. We bought the world leader in counter drone. And so if you think about that as an information network, our ability to apply artificial intelligence on top of all these sensor nodes is just creating incredible opportunities for us to solve important problems, and with that comes a ton of value. Enormous opportunity. I think counter drone, given what's happening in Ukraine and what we're seeing in the Middle East, the ability to track drones and to be able to interdict them is going to be key for public safety around the world, not just military, right? We've got to be able to protect our cities and our stadiums, and we acquired Dedrone, the world leader in that space. We also acquired a company called Sky Hero that's one of the leading companies in indoor tactical drones. So we're betting big on drones and robotics to go do the dangerous sort of jobs where it's not safe to send people in.
And Al, are you going to license your voice the same way you did via AI for the Olympics so that you'll just be doing this forever? Because I'm thinking about the same kind of strategy, but I want to follow your lead here.
Well, I thought that may be a one and done, David, but, I'm not so sure about that. I'm not so sure. I think everybody's getting into it right now. It's crazy. That was nuts. I mean, to hear myself, and I did nothing. I did absolutely zero at the Olympics, and I'm hearing myself back as if it was me. It was otherworldly.
On behalf of everybody, Al, thank you for bringing Black Friday football to the world, because Thanksgiving Day is not enough. I wonder what you make of these, seamless distribution expansion efforts by the league, whether that's international, additional days, you name it.
Carl, it started out streaming it was gradually, and then it became suddenly. And we will do at Amazon a wild card game this year. On Christmas Day, Netflix will have a doubleheader. So, streaming is the future, and it's coming faster than I thought a lot of people figured a couple of years ago. But here we are, and Amazon really wanted this game when they got the package, because you've got, everybody getting over their tryptophan hangover. You can shop online. You've got football. Everybody is home. And this is a good one today. You've got Patrick Mahomes. You've got Travis Kelce. And as far as I know, Travis Kelce's girlfriend is going to be here.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And I come back with that video just to make you think.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And make sure you join the Patrons. If you're not a part of the Patrons, make sure you're hitting the Cash App. And also, guys, make sure you go like and follow the TikTok. More videos to come. And we have Samson on the US dollar, and of course, all fiat ends. And we know this for a fact. That's the reason why they printed 80% of all money in existence in 2 years. They know this. And that's why Trump's job is to tokenize this economy and get us landed in this fourth industrial revolution. And Samson says he would like Trump to go ahead and approve that Bitcoin reserve. Now we have MetaFi CEO says there's not enough Bitcoin to satisfy demand, especially when you have Michael Saylor buying billions at a time. Now we have Rick Smith, the founder and CEO of Exxon, on drone defense. And remember how they're going to sell it to you. It's not safe for people to go in. We got to send in the machines. And we know all this technology gets tested in the military and then brought on to humanity. We've seen this movie before. Now we have Al Michaels on the Thanksgiving football game. Those who do watch the game, make sure you hit me up and tell me how it went. But now they're going to be doing advertising during the game. And we know this is a genius idea because most men who are watching the game, the girlfriends and wives aren't. Of course, they're not even paying attention to the game. If they're able to watch the game and shop, that is perfect. And remember, the crypto teacher told you, genius idea, but remember, it's just a setup for the metaverse. And we have Al Michaels asked about his AI voice used at the Olympics. And what did he say? I wasn't even there. He's getting paid and he wasn't even there. And remember, we talk about the power of this technology. It can be used for good or evil, but there's definitely going to be a lot of financial opportunities, of course, in the fourth industrial revolution. Now we have Gary on social shopping. And guys, who did you hear that from first? That's right, me, the crypto teacher. And social shopping is at the beginning stages. So if you are into that, you have merchandise that you want to sell, the opportunities are going to be big. And who did he say leading it? That's right, TikTok, which may have some restrictions soon. We see what happened in Australia. If you're 16 and below, no social media. But again, the social shopping is just getting everybody set up for the metaverse. We know the sheep are going to be too distracted on making the money and not looking at the agenda. We see it all the time in entertainment. People made millions, hundreds of millions of dollars, and then are broke. You want to make money, but then also invest it properly. So therefore, you're setting yourself up for this new digital economy. Because remember, if you allow the government to feed you, they're definitely going to starve you. And then we have Trump tariffs. Every day, guys, they putting out a narrative when it comes to these tariffs. And whether he do them now or do them later, we definitely know they're coming. And then on top of it, we have another potential strike at the port. Remember, guys, they extended part of that contract for automation January of 2025. And we know for a fact automation is going to take over those ports. So we still may end up with a strike. And then on top of it, we have the debt ceiling. So 2025 is definitely going to be exciting. We know they're going to step these movies up because it's time to build. And remember, the crypto teacher told you, because he knows when it comes to the NWO, it's all planned out. Y'all have a wonderful day.
So what's a live event? Is this different than QVC shopping?
Not really.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really, when this is the year. I mean, next year, this is going to be a huge topic for everybody who watches this program, and you'll be talking about this. It really is QVC on social. Other than the way the algorithms work in social now, when a person or a company goes live, they're going to find audiences. The algo is going to bring it to you. So obviously, QVC home shopping that were in the 80s, the consumer had to click and go there. Mm-hmm. The fact that I'm going to be in my feed and then boom, there's a live shopping event and boom, the algo knows that I like t-shirts or vitamins or beauty and I get it, that's going to be a big factor. Not about, convincing, it's about the conviction.
Those are vendors. Those are essentially companies selling.
No, they're influencers.
You're saying influencers are making $1 million a month?
Yes and yes, right? So
they have a product.
Yes, as well to that.
And hawking a product.
Yes, to that as well. This is going to be massive. Again, this is such a global platform. This has been going on for a decade in China. I've
watched the stuff in China.
Right? I've literally been waiting for 10 years for this. Like, there's videos of me in 2015 saying, this is coming.
It seems a little hokier than some of the flashy ads I already get that are really
I think you'll appreciate this. Some print, let's talk about it historically. What you're talking about is a print ad, in essence. Right. It just happens to be in social.
The video.
You mean video? Fine. Great.
Because it usually shows me something about the product I want.
That's video, so that's a commercial.
Yeah.
If it's an image, that's print. And all this is QVC. It works. I can speak for myself. I have a Pokemon-like brand called VFriends. Uh-huh. We're doing live social shopping. I'm doing 7 hours, ironically, today about it.
You're going to be on for 7 hours?
I'm going to be on from 12 to 7 today on Whatnot, which is one of the platforms that's emerging. And 3 Mondays ago, we sold $40,000 worth of T-shirts in 2 hours.
Wow.
That if and we're good at this, did my best social media non-live shopping advertising, we would have sold $3,000 worth.
Okay. I'm convinced by numbers.
Excited to be here is every retail, every CPG This is going to be over the next decade a consumer packaged good. So if you're Procter, if you're PepsiCo, I mean, this is going to be a major deal because don't forget, we have major channel conflict wars between the packaged good companies and the retailers. And the Amazons and the Walmarts are taking media dollars now away from social. The overall impact to consumable products and to retail of this dynamic and social shopping, and now the social networks taking an 8% rake on every transaction.
Really?
That's 6 in some cases.
8%?
Some, but 8% and then a 3% process fee. But again, this is also going to hit Main Street. If you're a normal store in a small town in Jersey or California on Wednesday at 3 p.m., there is nothing going on. To your point, the retail traffic is changing. The fact that you can turn your little boutique into a studio now and go live shopping.
Entrepreneurs can do this too. If you're a small business owner, you can get right out there.
10 years ago, I used to go on this program and others and talk about influencers are going to make money, and I got a little, and now it's a multi-billion-dollar economy.
Does it undermine
shopping
retailers? Does it undermine that?
Yeah, I would argue that live social shopping is the only potential thing that Amazon should be worrying about in their domination. That's how big this could be.
That's really amazing. And I guess the who this is disrupting is traditional media, who might have been pitching you these ads before.
Yes, but it's also going to disrupt retail. Like this is another, don't forget, attention ultimately is the ultimate asset. These social platforms have the attention. We're going to now shop in that environment. That's going to affect media, that's going to affect retail, and that's going to affect the product service
Do the
industry.
social media companies make money on this?
Yes.
So
again, they make 8%.
Good for Twitter and good for maybe some of these other companies.
There's no shot in 2025. I can't wait to come back in 6 to 12 months when this happens. There's no shot that Meta, TikTok, YouTube, Google are not going to be yelling and screaming about this. X will have this. This is too big. It's happened.
Who's the best at it so far?
TikTok. And it's not.
Tell us the name of an influencer or two that you think have made a ton of money from this or are leading this.
You know, it's funny.
And what do they do to be so in front?
So what I'm paying attention to more is the brand. So Mary Ruth Organics is a brand that's really doing this well. They're selling their vitamins. It's kind of a modern vitamin company. You saw, it was funny. I was talking to Mona and Dustin in the back. You showed the top 3 things that we're selling, right? T-shirts, vitamins, and beauty. And I looked at them and said, all 3 categories that are crushing right now on live social shopping. Abercrombie and Fitch. I don't know if you're paying attention that they're getting a reboot. And then there's also, I think you guys covered this on, I don't know if specifically you, but Chili's, the restaurant company, there was one TikTok. This is not live social shopping. This is just social. One TikTok that went viral that represented 40% of its Q3 growth. One TikTok that went viral. It was a triple cheese quesadilla. It wasn't even a limited time offer. Again, mango gummies, private label mango gummies from Walgreens, the ocean spray thing that was well covered. I'm telling you.
We have to go, but I have to make a point.
Please.
Which is that one of the, what do you call postmortems on the election?
Yes.
Was that the Trump administration understood TikTok in the way that Biden, the Trump campaign in the way that Biden didn't. And I think what you're talking about now is investors need to understand it.
The battleground on social will impact every single stock.
This Black Friday, some retailers are urging customers to buy now before President-elect Trump's proposed tariffs take effect.
Stephen and I applaud your thinking like an economist there, supply and demand for currency. But, you know, every time the price of oil goes up $10 or down $10, all right, a lot more world trade is affected than it's going to be affected by these tariffs. And that doesn't seem to knock the dollar either. So every once in a while, supply and demand of dollars affects the value of the currency. And a lot of the times it doesn't. Same thing with interest rates, which is what I think the market is thinking about now. I think the market is thinking that the Fed is going to have to pause cutting right now because there is a risk of inflationary policy. And while they can't act on that risk of inflation, they can pause to wait to see how it plays out. And this is what Chair Powell has been telling us. He's been saying, we've got room to pause. We don't have to be in a rush to ease because the economy is so strong. So I'm suspecting that the Fed is going to take advantage of the scope that it has to take its time cutting rates, to not let rates get too low just in case they have to reverse course. And in the meantime, the economy is doing just fine and doesn't really need an immediate rate cut to keep on going. So I think there's a really big question mark over that December rate cut, that the market is pricing in. And that could be a basis for people buying the dollar right now, because right now, this week, it looks like rates might be on hold for the Fed, and that generally is considered to be a positive for the dollar. Whether there is or not doesn't matter. People believe it. In 2018, 2019, we saw tit-for-tat tariffs. So the things that they tariffed that we export were things that also were intermediate goods and not necessarily consumer goods. So the impact worldwide of this tariff increase was very muted back then, but that's different from across the board tariffs. Now, the real question, which I can't answer because I'm just a simple economist, right, is why is Trump asserting that he's going to do this? Is he actually going to do this, or is this a negotiating tool? Right? It's stated, as he declared it on his posts, that what he really wants to do is he doesn't want to put tariffs on these countries at these rates. He wants to slow the flow of people and drugs across the border, and he wants to compel, particularly Canada and Mexico, to do something about it. So let's wait and see how this all plays out. The presidents of Mexico, the Prime Minister of Canada have already been on the phone with Trump. His people haven't even gotten to their offices yet. So I think this could very well just turn out to be a negotiating.
Going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. With triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is, it's digitizing gold.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of the huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we can have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Chinese bank ICBC has been hit by a ransomware attack, and the U.S. Treasury market, as a result of that, has been disrupted. This, according to the Financial Times. We're getting at more right now with Bloomberg's Shonali Bassick. Shonali, what do we know?
Listen, we have the Financial Times now reporting that ICBC, one of China's largest banks here, was hit with a ransomware attack. And remember, they're a very significant intermediary in the Treasury market. The SIFMA has told his members that this has been part of the reason here that the system is kind of clogged up, if you will. During that auction that we saw a little bit before, the attack had prevented ICBC, according to the Financial Times, from settling treasury trades on behalf of other market participants. A large executive at a major bank also telling the paper that such a large party on the fixed income clearing corp creates major concerns, potentially impacting the liquidity of treasury markets. Now,
it was not just a poor auction. It was absolutely lousy. And you know, when the dealers have to step in to save a treasury auction, that's a rare occurrence. And
Cryptoteacher and the New World Order book, plus the 3 Kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get on stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing, they were still getting that free money. What are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. You know I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID-33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.